saw Donnie Darko for the first time this morning. That movie is incredibly depressing. I mean, I watched it because I thought that I was missing out on something because I'm the only one who hasn't seen it. But, ever since I've seen it, I've just spent this whole day wishing that I had never seen it. I felt like I was lucky to have missed out on that. It's a very just creepy movie. Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Lyle and this is WNBA Weekly. So this was a busy weekend in the league. Diggins led the way with 19 points. Courtney Paris had a double-double. But Latta, she led the team with 17 points. And Currie was 1 rebound short of a double-double as well. And Currie, man, she was 16 of 18 from the free throw line. The Tulsa Shock were 11 of 16 from the free throw line. She made as many free throws as the entire Shock team attempted. The Dream had 4 players in double figures led by Lyttle and Hayes, who tied to lead the team with 15 points, but the Sky had 5 players in double figures led by 21 from Prince. Fowles had a double-double, and the Sky, they grabbed their second straight win while Atlanta loses their 3rd straight game for the first time this season. Then Seimone Augustus, she returned to action, and for the first time this season, the Lynx were at 100%. The Stars, they had 5 players in double figures led by 17 from D-Rob, while Jayne Appel had a double-double, and Hammon was 1 assist short of a double-double herself. But the Lynx, they had 6 players in double figures led by 17 from Augustus as Minnesota wins its 6th straight game. Then on Saturday, Crystal Langhorne led the team with 21 points, 8 rebounds, but the Sparks had 5 players in double figures led by 22 from NECA as the Sparks, they finally end their losing streak while Seattle has now lost their 5th in a row. But surprisingly, still a higher seed than the Shock. And then Becky Hammon, she led the Stars with 18 points, but the Fever had 3 players in double figures led by Kaiser, who came off the bench for 16 as the Fever hang on for the win. And then Tina Charles, she led the way with 20.7 rebounds, but the Mercury had 4 players in double figures led by 18 points and 6 blocks from Griner and double-doubles from Dupree and Taurasi as the Mercury add another notch in their belt. They have now won 15 consecutive victories, which ties them with the 98 Comets for the 2nd all-time longest winning streak. The longest is the 2001's LA Sparks, who had 18 straight. Then on Sunday, the Sun, they had 3 players in double figures led by 15 points and 9 rebounds from Kelsey Bone. But the Lynx had 4 players in double figures led by 17 from Maya Moore. Connecticut has now lost 3 in a row, while Minnesota wins their 7th in a row in order to reach 20 wins for a 4th consecutive season. The Dream had 3 players in double figures led by 19 points from Lyttle, but the Mystics had 4 players in double figures led by 21 from Latta as the Mystics hand Atlanta their 4th straight loss. I tried to warn y'all this was going to happen. Just like last year, Atlanta started off so hot second in the first half. Second half of the season, they faded away down the stretch, slipped down in the rankings. I told you, it's happening all over again. Okay, we can kind of give them a pass for now. They had a few really close wins against some really tough teams, double overtime against the Lynx where Maya scored almost 50. We'll definitely cut them some slack for now because Cooper's been out of action and apparently they just completely forgot how to win without him screaming in their ear. And then last game of the week, Quigley and Prince tied to lead the team with 14 points. But the Shock had 3 players in double figures led by 24 points and 8 assists from Sims and a double-double from Glory Johnson as Tulsa controls the second half and comes away with a win. And after all that great weekend action, here are the current standings. So a few games to look forward to this week. First of all, on Monday, I already mentioned it on the last video in case I didn't get to it this time. But because I'm recording this video so early, I decided to go ahead and mention it anyways. We have Indiana at Los Angeles. That one's going to be on NBA TV at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Sparks, they beat the Fever in Indiana, but the Fever have a better record on the road, and the Sparks have the worst home record in the league. Then on Tuesday, you have Connecticut at Atlanta. That one's going to be on NBA TV at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which, if you don't know how time zones work, that means 12 p.m. is Eastern Standard Time. That means like New York to Florida. But then like Central Standard Time, which is like Texas, Wisconsin, all of these middle states, that means it's going to be on at like 11 in the morning. And if you live somewhere like Los Angeles or Oregon, it's going to be on at like 10 in the morning. I'm saying this because unfortunately there are those people who will hear, oh, it's going to be on at 12, I'm going to wake up at 12, and then, oh, the game just ended. What the fuck? You told me it was on at 12! So I'll repeat this one more time for prosperity. 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my thoughts on this game are that Atlanta's losing streak is too fucking long. They've got to find a way to win at some point in time. If they can't grab a win against the worst team in the Eastern Conference, then Michael Cooper is getting my vote for Coach of the Year, because apparently they just can't do a thing if he's not around. Then you've got Washington at New York. So far this season, the home team has won every single matchup. We'll see if they keep that going. Then you've got Chicago at San Antonio. That game's going to be on ESPN2 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Chicago, they have the size advantage, but the Stars, they have plenty of shooters, and the Sky, they have struggled on the road this year. So hopefully that means a win for San Antonio. Then we've got Seattle at Tulsa at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Seattle is on a long losing streak. Part of that, is that they do have a relatively tough schedule. But while Tulsa has been up and down a team this year, they're definitely a much stronger squad at home. Then you've got Los Angeles at Phoenix at ESPN2 at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And LA, they finally got a win, but can they stop Mercury's hot streak? LA, they have a winning record on the road, but the Mercury, they've only lost one game at home all season long. I mean, we'll see. Maybe LA is going to make a statement and say, we're going to keep that longest winning streak. That's our record. You can't take that from us. Then on Thursday, you've got Atlanta at Tulsa at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Atlanta, one of the best home teams in the league, but they're under 500 on the road. The guard play will be important because it's one of Atlanta's weaknesses, and it's the strength of the shot. So we'll see how that goes. Also, as of recording this right now, I have no idea when Cooper's going to be back. From what I heard, he had his surgery. They're expecting him to come back really soon. Everything went well. They said he'd be out a week. It's been about a week. Then you've got Phoenix at Minnesota. Probably a conference finals preview, and more than likely they'll both still be on winning streaks by this time, one of which has to end. If Phoenix wins this game, they have the Western Conference. I mean, it's not official or anything. They can still lose every single game after this and possibly fall down to second place, I think. But I'm just calling it right here. If Phoenix wins this, they own the Western Conference, at least mentally speaking. This is probably the best shot we have at actually seeing Phoenix lose a game, because they're playing so well right now. All 5 of their starters are shooting at a high percentage. They're just playing great basketball. They're moving the ball very well on offense. They're an incredibly efficient team. Minnesota right now probably has the best chance of stopping them. They finally got Brunson back. Seimone Augustus returned. Minnesota is at 100% now. If they can't stop them, nobody can. Especially since they're playing in Minnesota. The only team with a better home record than Minnesota is Phoenix. Then again, Phoenix has the best road record in the league. I'm just going to say this much. If you don't have live access by now, you might want to consider grabbing it just to watch this game. Or if not, you can watch a doubleheader on NBA TV. First one will be New York at Chicago on NBA TV at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And New York, still a horrible team on the road. And the Liberty, they're one of the few teams that Chicago has dominated this year. They are currently 3-0 against them, so if they win this one, they sweep the season series. And then you have Indiana at Seattle on NBA TV at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Seattle, they've got a losing record at home. Indiana has a winning record on the road. And Indiana, they grabbed a win earlier this season against the Storm, and that was before Tamika returned. So odds are Indiana probably going to grab another W. Seattle probably gonna get that much closer to clinching that sixth seed and getting a top overall pick next year. Why am I talking like this? It makes no sense. But that's it for this edition of WNBA Weekly. Tune in on Friday for another all-new episode. And until then, this has been the Fan Perspective. I'm your host, Nathan Lyle. I will see you on Friday. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I hope you enjoy your upcoming week.